Like and
All right.
subscribe.
So I have a question for
Honestly.
you guys.
Okay.
I have
Okay.
a question. I'm the question master for today.
Question
so I have a
master.
question.
What you got?
Is social media good for the world or bad for the world as a whole, from start to finish?
Bad.
Bad.
Tell us more.
Honestly, man, when we were growing up, you didn't have the problems that the kids today are growing up. I don't want to say that kids are soft or anything, but people are so influenced by what they're seeing online that it really messes with their mental stability. You have kids that are comparing themselves to the Kardashians and thinking that they need to look like that because that's normal. And that shit ain't normal, bro. These
that
guys
ain't
are
normal.
billionaires. They can do whatever they want. They have treatment. They have doctors every single day.
Facts.
The kid in Idaho does not have that.
Yeah.
You know, so like I
sure.
definitely think for myself, it's so beneficial because I run business through there.
Facts.
But for the traditional person or just the average person who's watching, consuming social media every single day and looking up to these people that are living real lives, shit ain't real, man.
Shit ain't real.
Yeah.
Reality
Shit ain't
TV
real,
ain't
man.
real,
It ain't
bro.
real, bro.
Yeah.
It's not real.
What do you think, Mike?
No, I agree with that. I'd say it's bad. I'd say the problem is it's like watching the news. Like they're gonna tell you more bad things than good things every day.
Absolutely.
So what happens is even if social media has some really good and valuable aspects, most of the time we're just watching the bad things and the junk,
Facts.
which is then just putting us to only think and see bad things and junk. And you know, it's crazy that like all these mental things in terms of like depression, anxiety, and all this is at the all-time high. Well, it's because first thing that a lot of people do when they wake up is look at their Instagram.
Immediately.
And it's like, yo, like if people, life happens in 24 hours every single day. A picture is literally what 0.00. Travis, you probably know like how fast a picture is,
Yeah.
like 0.0001 of a second, whatever it is, bro. So how can we compare someone putting up all their highlights to our real life?
Highlights,
Like it's
literally.
not fair. Like it's like playing a
guess
sport and seeing a highlight tape.
I guess
Yo,
as
that
a
guy looks
question master,
fire.
I got to play devil's advocate here.
Yeah,
Okay,
go
do your
ahead.
thing. You don't ought to, but you could choose to.
No, I'm choosing to. Just
Okay,
just
there
for
you
the
go.
sake of
Do your thing,
conversation.
do your thing.
So you guys both say it's bad. So I
As a
say
whole.
it's good. I'm pretty neutral on it because I think the pros equal the bad. But for the sake of the argument, I'm going to say it's good because I think everyone being able to see highlights raises the bar for all of us.
Question is that actually what's happening though?
It's true, bro.
That's
What's the
not what's
bar?
happening.
Like seeing
The
people
bar
with,
is not
with
raising.
implants and shit like
What's
that.
happening
Is
is-
that
Well, maybe not.
So
Maybe not like
even
an
if we
aesthetic
even if we
sense.
come from like a psychology, whatever, who cares? But like, yo, there's like the self and there's the ideal self, and the farther that we get away from the ideal self, the more anxiety and depression we get. So if we're raising the bar and the bar is becoming so far that we don't feel like we can reach it every day, it's only causing more anxiety and depression in each individual because they feel that they can't reach that spot.
But when I say raising the bar, I don't mean to an unattainable level. I mean you're constantly aspiring now.
Okay, so
Hold on. Let me finish my thought.
Finish your thought. Go ahead.
In our grandparents' generation, it was enough to live and die. You know what I mean? You weren't aspiring to have any influence to change the world. That wasn't an option. But the influential people in social media are creators of technology and those sort of things, and they have now made it possible where you can be on those unbelievable levels like the Kardashians, who are famous for just their influence and just their ability to influence. So they can change trends, and that gives them power. Whether they choose that for good or bad is the individual, right? But our grandparents worked a minimum wage job, paid for their house, and then they died. And there was no memory of them. But our generation, though there is depression and negative consequences caused by this discrepancy in what we're actually experiencing versus what we're seeing, that want for more is human nature.
Sure.
So it's just exaggerated with social media.
So question for you, and I hear what you're saying. That makes sense. Question for you: Are there the most successful? If we took a portion of the most successful people in the world, do you think
for sure
they're more using social media in terms of like on it every single day or not? Like
I think maybe they may be leveraging social media, like Travis said, in a business sense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So and that's
Whether
kind
you're
of
not
consuming
consuming
or
it.
using,
there you go.
it's
Consuming
still,
is the word that I'm looking for.
it's still social media.
And then,
Whether you're scrolling and liking or you're using it as a
and I think-
platform, it's still social
I think
media.
that's kind of like the problem. Like there's way more consumers than leveragers.
Yeah, and I
right?
really do think that a lot of people are literally just portraying fake lives, bro. They have those pop-up shops where people can go and take pictures in a private jet, but it's literally just, bro, if you're comparing yourself to that person, like, you don't know what's really going on. All that shit is fake. But to you, it's like, why is he 25 and I'm 25 and he's in a private jet and I'm in my parents' house?
Exactly.
But I think
And I feel-
sorry, Mike. The
No, do your
biggest
thing,
thing
do your
about
thing.
social media is that just like real life, you need to be able to filter it out.
Absolutely.
So I think there's been a lot of talk about that of people. You said the word soft, and I think the reason why people are softer or they're more directly impacted emotionally by what they're seeing is because they themselves don't have a filter or they themselves don't have their feet grounded in the reality. So is that the fault of social media or the individual or their environment?
I would say it's social media to an extent, because like, think about it, like we can access social media from such a young age, right? So of course we don't, like a lot of young people don't have a filter to it because they don't even know what a filter is yet. You know what I mean? They're just like literally opening it up. Like I know that your daughter could probably open up a phone and like open up YouTube if she wanted to right now. You know what I mean? Like, she doesn't know what she's supposed to or not supposed to be watching. She knows what she wants to watch, but she doesn't really know, like, you know. So if all of a sudden she's like, you know, she turns 6 one day and there's only photos of like the Kardashian on the trend on the main page of
that's
YouTube.
not normal.
Now
It's
at
just
6,
not normal.
7, 8, 9, 10, like that's what she's seeing as the new norm.
But
So it's kind of creating a filter for us.
but how much of the onus falls on the parent?
Okay,
For
that's
sure.
Early
fair.
exposure.
That's fair.
Because it's just like anything in life. Like if we're playing football too early and we're getting this raw mentality of bang heads, don't cry, all this and that, you can fall victim to that. And that's just your environment. We played football when we were 10 years old.
Yeah.
So is it on the coaching staff to make that environment so toxic?
That's what-
Is it on the parents for putting their kids in before they have their own emotional
That's what
development?
Maria always says. It's like when people get mad at like celebrities for living certain lives, and they're like, "What kind of influence are you on these kids?" She always says, "Bro, it's not them who are raising your kids. The
Yeah.
parent needs to step up and put proper things in their view. It's not. It doesn't rely on
Yeah.
the
Like
celebrity
it's not
Now,
Kim
if we're-
we've been saying Kardashian. It's not Kim's
fault. Yeah,
It's not Kim's
No.
job to raise your kids.
Exactly.
It's for you to filter out your exposure and then them as an individual to develop.
No, if
filter
we're
themselves.
going back to the stem of the argument, we're talking about social media itself. If social media wasn't created, we wouldn't have a lot of these issues.
But I think social media
Because,
is
like,
a reflection of our reality.
I agree with you 100%. But how am I going to compare myself to the Kardashians if I don't have a simple access to see them?
But this is my point exactly. Now that there's exposure to things, we can evolve as a human race because we can see what Kanye is talking about. We can see what this is. Kanye could only stand on for example, Jesus, for example. I know that's an extreme example, but he could only preach to who he could preach to. He just had such a prolific message that
Yeah.
it traveled through.
Do you think? Like, imagine? Oh my gosh, if there was social media and let's say Jesus came, okay, how much attention do you feel like we'd give to him? In
an infinite
reality?
amount because
I don't
he
think so.
without it
I don't think
had
so.
this impact.
I think he would just be another trend.
I don't think so.
I think so.
I don't think so.
Interesting.
But that's
I
my
think
point,
so.
right? Because if you are like Jesus had a lasting message.
There could have been
Right?
10 Jesuses that just passed
And
already, and we didn't pay attention to them
Exactly,
because we were
because
too
there was
busy
no
on our phones
access
looking.
to
Like, think about it. Our attention span is like what, 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about Andrew Tate maybe for X amount of time, and then now he's canceled, and we'll probably won't talk about him in like a year.
Yeah.
We'll probably forget about Andrew Tate.
But it's
You
his
know what I mean?
message. His message is lasting.
Yeah, no, not really, because
Our
there's
attention
always
span is
our
so
attention.
low.
There's
Yeah.
always new message. First it was him, then it was Jake Paul, it was him, it was that,
No,
it was
but-
that.
but
it was
even
Kanye
just-
running
if
for
you can look-
president, it was this, it was that.
You can look at the
NBA
last couple of
highlights,
years.
NFL highlights.
Hang on, listen to me.
Yeah,
You can look
I
at the
got
last
you.
couple of years, Jordan Peterson or whoever those trendy people that were talking about inequalities between men and women or differences or feminism or whatever topic that niche is talking about. There have been many popular people. So the individuals may pass, but the message is trending. Women have been fighting for rights since the 70s or
Facts.
40s. So
Facts.
it's the message. Jesus had a message. So his message transcends. So yes, our attention span on the individual may pass, but it's these constant themes, reoccurring themes in social media that are represented by a new, fresh voice.
I agree.
So I think also social media is a platform for different voices.
it's a platform. I agree. I just feel like that the negative voices get overpowered by
Yeah.
the positive
But
ones.
I- again-
more. Think about it. If you go onto your followers, you go onto your followers or your page or what? Not you guys, but like other people, they're probably gonna go down their timeline to see more junk than good.
Yeah.
They're not following the people that are giving like positive
That's the
affirmations
thing.
every
It
day.
depends on the
That's
person for sure.
boring. They're probably following like the joke pages
Yeah.
and the people that diss people and
I'll
the
tell you,
people that are trying
I've
to look
learned
good.
a lot of good business things from social media, like from learning about different people who I can listen to podcasts and everything. And it really depends because even if you look at like countries and stuff, in China, TikTok, if you look at China's TikToks, a lot of the stuff that's gets pushed is engineering, business. It's not like people who are like shaking their ass
Yeah,
and shit. You know,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
different here. But yeah, it's different. They make it a point that they push out stuff that's going to help the youth in becoming more fundamental key parts in their society than you know, just junk and stuff.
And that's the thing on TikTok. There's like the algorithm.
Yes.
So your For You page. So
Yes.
if you all like, for example, if you always like anime stuff, you're gonna get more anime stuff. If you like drawing anime, you're gonna start seeing drawing anime stuff. But if I'm just like at my house looking at different girls, it's all I'm gonna see.
Which is why it's kind of dangerous. I like what you're saying in terms of like in China or like what that they're pushing something. They're pushing a rhetoric because it's like imagine like even if you liked anime or you like looking at girls or you like looking at cars, but they're always pushing engineering and science and all that stuff. Like the problem is there's such a fear that we're not going to use their app that they want to make it so catered to us. But what if it was like either get educated or get off?
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. That's the power of social media.
China's probably doing that shit on purpose
Yeah.
to try and like make them more superior. They're probably pushing bad shit
smart.
out to the North Americans, you know, trying to get ahead.
facts,
Smart
facts,
idea.
facts.
It's
They're like, we're
working.
gonna make them dumber,
For
us
sure.
smarter,
It's
and
working.
we win.
Guys, I
Yeah.
don't, you
My
know,
They're
Alexa
thinking about the
nonsense.
next generations.
facts, bro.
But that's what I'm saying. That's in a nutshell the power of social media. So whether or not it's used for good, I think as a whole it's a very powerful tool that can shape our like. I think information and communication is key to advancement as a
Yeah.
society,
And
and I think social media is like a megaphone of information. You could get information across the world way faster than ever before.
Agreed.
So I think the
Agreed.
tool itself is powerful.
And we literally got to see the gift and the curse of it during COVID. We
Yeah.
saw the gift of it when there was literally nothing else happening in the world, and then there was black riots happening. There was this happening.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it was the most powerful thing like ever to push something. And then all of a sudden the NBA came back and everything.
Yeah.
And it was just-
Everything
But it
started
also
again.
changed a lot of people's lives too,
It literally
right?
happened like that. Bro.
Yeah.
And Will and Jada, bro. Will and Jada in the
Oh,
NBA
yeah.
That
just
was
took
sad,
all
bro. We
the
could have a whole
attention.
episode about that.
Yeah.
That's a sad situation
But yeah,
to me.
it's I like the fact that people that can come from nothing, and if you hit well on one video, you can literally change your family's life.
Yeah,
which is
exactly.
you know that didn't
Facts.
exist before.
And it's
From
like a
anywhere
guy
in the world.
randomly from Vietnam or something. He's just singing. He doesn't even speak English. He's
Yeah,
like 1,
that
2,
guy-
3, 4,
yeah,
5. I don't know if
yeah.
it's Vietnam,
Jokes.
but whatever.
Bro.
That
It's like
guy's jokes.
he's probably being paid for that. Even if
Yeah.
he's not. Even if it's like 100
Yeah.
USD, whatever it is. Like it's
More than
it's
he
an
would've
opportunity that
got.
never existed before.
It's true. I
Right?
agree.
Like,
Scout like
so-
talent, like even if we go to like athletes and sports, like talent is getting scouted just because they
Facts.
put out a crazy clip.
Exactly.
Of a,
So are you on my team?
15-year-old. Am I on your team? I'm on no, no. I'm not on
got
your
him.
team. There's still more. It's like watching the news. If I watch CP24 every day,
You're
they're,
right, though.
They're gonna
Yeah.
tell me
Yeah.
10 kids got shot in the park, but they're not gonna tell me about that foundation that just raised
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
$100,000.
I hate the
you know
news
what I
for that
mean?
reason, too.
It's what sells.
Yeah.
Fear sells. We
Fear
know
sells.
this.
Yeah, I agree. I don't watch the news for that exact reason too.
All right, bro.